Okay, so the next concept I want to explain is something called the multiplier. Yeah, so that's on page 16 of your notes. Yeah. Okay, so the basic idea is this, right? That when someone decides to increase spending in the economy, so let's say he increases spending, right, which will increase AD. Let's say it's $100. The totality of goods and services produced at the end actually exceeds $100, right? So the change in national income is actually more than the initial change in the aggregate demand. And the coefficient by which this happens is K, and this K is known as the multiplier. Yeah. Okay. So in this case, an increase in AD, leads to a more than proportionate increase in real national income. Okay, so this sounds weird. So let's unpack this. Yeah. So why does this happen? So I'm going to use the same example I used. So let's say I got three guys here. So there's a red guy, there's a blue guy, there's a green guy. So these folks are called households. So we've explained that. And then we have three firms, right? So we have three firms. We have a red firm, we have a blue firm, and we have a green firm. So these folks are called firms. Yeah. Okay, so remember, right, our proposition or what we want to prove is that, let's say demand increases, aggregate demand increases by $100. Somehow the goods and services produced will exceed $100. Okay, so let's say that someone is the government, right? So let's say that someone is the government, and the government decides to spend $100 into this economy. Okay, so let's say we have $100 here, and this $100 is contributed by the government. Yeah. Okay, so the government would go on and they would hire the red color firm, let's say, to build a road, right? So instantly, the red color firm would hire the red color man to work for him, and then pay him that $100, right? So the $100 goes to the red color man, which goes on into our economy. So this is the change in national income, and this is, let's say this is the time period. Let's say time period 1 is, let's say it's January, right? It's January. So the government goes on and hires, pays the red color firm $100. $100 pays the red color firm pays the red color man $100. So national income increases by $100. Okay, so that's the first round. Okay, so here comes the magic, right? So the red dude, right, he would receive, so remember he has this extra $100. So what he's going to do is that he's going to spend part of it on buying the blue color dude's stuff, right? So the red color man goes shopping in the blue color firm, right? Okay, so let's say he spends part of that income, right? And let's say he spends part of the income, so he's going to increase his consumption. Let's say he spends 60% of that $100 on consumption. So this would be plus 60 in the first round. So he's going to spend $60, and the rest of it is going to go into savings. He's going to save up part of it. He's going to pay his taxes, and he's going to maybe buy some imports. Yeah. So this money here, this money doesn't go back to the blue firm. Okay, so he's going to spend, but the important thing is this: he's going to spend $60 on the blue color firm's stuff, right? And so the blue color firm is going to hire the blue collar man to work for him, and then in the end, the $60 would go to the blue collar man, right? And so national income increases by $60. Increases by $60 in the second round. Yeah. Okay, so the blue color man now has additional $60, and surprise, surprise, he's also going to spend. He's also going to spend part of that $60. Let's say it's the same factor, so this is 60%. So let's say he spent 60% or so this would be $36, and he's going to go. Let's say the blue color man, he's going to go shopping in the green color firm, right? He's going to go shopping to the green color firm. So the $36 that he spends is going to go into the green color firm. And then you know how the story goes. The green color firm is going to hire the green color man to work for him, and then the green color man in the end is going to receive the $36. Yeah, so let's all write that in. So in the third time period, there's an additional 36. So this is then again, the green color man who received the 36 will spend 60% of that. Okay, so the math is getting a bit difficult. So this is actually 21.6, and this would be, let's fill in the blanks here. Here's 24 and here's 14.4. Yeah, so you can see that this is going to go on and on. Of course, the economy doesn't only have green, blue and red, blue and green man. There's probably sort of other households and sort of other firms here. So this cycle is going to just keep continue on. It's going to keep continuing on and on and on. Yeah. So you will see this table on page 18 of your notes. Okay. So it's going to go on and on and on, and eventually it's going to stop. And the final result is that this, if you take the summation of all these things, it's going to sum up to actually $250. You take the summation of this is 150, which by the way is just sort of 0.6 multiplied by 250. Yeah, and then if you sum this up, this would be 100. So 250 minus 150 gets you 100. Okay. So what's actually happening, right, is that initially, even though I have $100, that $100 is actually causing sort of ripples of spending, right? So you get 60 as the first ripple, 36 as the second ripple, 21.6 as the next ripple, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, so that's why eventually the goods and services produced by this collective of red, blue, green, and many other folks would sum up to more than $100. Right? The totality of goods and services that they produce is going to be more than $100. Okay. So let's sort of make this let's formalize it. So I'm actually going to be summarizing page 19 to 21. Okay, so this is a summary. Then we'll wrap up all these principles herein. Okay, so first principle. This process, the multiplier, is based on the principle that one man's spending is another man's income. So back to our example, red man's spending is blue man's income, blue man's spending is green man's income, green man is going to spend on other men. So it's based on the principle that one person's spending becomes the income for another person, right? Okay, so let's say thereafter, let's say there's an increase in AD, right? So an increase in AD, which for my example, I told you that it's the government that spends this $100 here. Yeah. Okay. So let's say there's an increase in AD. So firms will cause to hire factors of production from households. Yeah. So what does that mean? It means government hires a red firm hires red man. Red man spends at blue firm. Blue firm would hire blue man. So the firm hiring, the increase in AD will cause firms to just hire more factors of production from households, right? So then what happens is that the households will receive the income. Yeah, so eventually the money goes back to the red man, the blue man, and the green man respectively. So as national income increases, households would spend part of the income on induced consumption, right? On induced consumption, right? Because as income increases, purchasing power increases, they would then spend part of it on consuming goods and services. Okay? Okay, so then you have an increase in induced consumption. So remember, red man feels richer because he has that $100. So he spends 60, which is his induced consumption on blue firms' goods and services. So this would increase the income of other households. Yeah. So red person spending will increase blue person's income. So this will increase the income of other households and would causing this cycles of spending and re-spending. Yeah. So red spends on blue, blue spends on green, green spends on and on. Okay. So it will cause cycles of spending and re-spending. So we're getting there. So this will continue. This continues until the initial increase in AD is fully withdrawn. Okay, so what is happening here? So what you can see is that I started off with $100. Yeah, 40 is withdrawn. 40 is withdrawn in the first round. 24 is withdrawn in the second round. 14 is withdrawn in the third round, and more will continue to be withdrawn. And if this whole thing sums up to 100, then all of it is withdrawn and the process stops. Yeah. So this continues until the initial increase in AD, which is $100 for my case, is fully withdrawn. Okay, then the magic has officially happened, which means that the final change in national income is more than proportionate to the initial increase in AD. So AD only increased by $100. So initially I pushed in $100, but I had $250 worth of increase in national income. So the final change in national income is more than proportionate to the initial change in AD. Okay, so that's the process. Before I end, let's talk about one more related concept, which is this. Talk about this, which is the formula. In other words, let's spell this right. It's formula, right? Formula is on page 18. Yeah. Okay. So question is this: how do I know that the number is 250? Yeah, how do I know that the number is 250? So let's do the formula. So the formula for the numerical coefficient is actually equals to 1 over 1 minus MPC. Okay, MPC. So MPC actually stands for marginal propensity to consume. right? Okay, so the word marginal means on the last unit. Yeah, marginal increase means on that last unit. Propensity is a tendency, right? And consume just means consume. So it's the tendency for a consumer or a household to spend part of his income. Okay, so in our example, the marginal propensity to consume is this magic number right here, 0.6. So in our example is, let me just put in orange, is 0.6 in my example. Yeah, because I spend 60% of my increase in income on consumption. Okay, so let's look a little bit on this formula. This formula, firstly, it makes sense. Okay, it makes sense because the larger this is, so the larger the MPC is, the smaller the denominator is. The smaller the denominator is, the larger the reciprocal. Okay, let's do that again. Smaller MPC is, larger 1 minus MPC is. Okay, I think I got it wrong. Okay, so larger MPC is, smaller this is, larger this is. Okay, in English it means if I'm going to be spending a lot of my income on consumption, then there's going to be more cycles of spending and respending, right? Okay, so let's just put it there. So the larger the MPC equals more cycles of spending and respending. Yeah, and if there are more cycles of spending and respending, the increase in national income will be more significant, right? So equals larger K, which sort of makes sense. Yeah. Okay, let's look at it from sort of the other way. So the other way is that 1 minus MPC is actually MPW. Yeah, so let me just put a side note here. 1 minus MPC equals MPW, because if you're not consuming, you must be either saving, being taxed, or spending on imports. Yeah. So if you unpack what marginal propensity to withdraw is, so MPW is, this is marginal propensity to withdraw, right? If you're not spending on consumer goods, you are basically spending on savings, MPS, marginal propensity to save. You are paying your taxes, marginal propensity to tax, or you are spending it on imports, marginal propensity to import. Yeah, let's just put it all down. So let's put it orange. So this is savings, marginal propensity to, I should just, marginal propensity to save, marginal propensity to tax, marginal propensity to import. Yeah, so if you are not spending on savings, you must be being taxed, or you must be spending on imports. That gives you the intuition behind this formula right here, right? So K is equals to 1 over 1 minus MPC, or 1 over MPW, which is equals to 1 over MPS plus MPM plus MPT. Yeah, that is the formula for the multiplier. Yeah, if you see the last one, it also makes sense, because if you are saving and being taxed or importing a lot, there will be less cycles of spending and respending. In other words, if you're saving a lot, there isn't much consumption for the next guy, and the next guy would receive less, and the next guy also doesn't consume much, so he's going to save a lot. Then it's going to be even less for the next guy. So the higher the marginal propensity to withdraw, the smaller the multiplier. Yeah. So I just put there when the MPC is high, K is low. If the MPW is high, also when MPC is high, K is high. And when the MPW is high, K is low. So that makes it for the multiplier process.